Good morning and welcome to Fox Chase Farm. I'm Zach and I'm going to be your educator for the day. Today we're going to be discussing something that's kind of important on the farm. So when you think of the farm, what do you think of? Typically, people-wise, we typically think of the farmer, right? Now what is their job? Typically they have two jobs. One, well, they got many jobs actually, but emphasizes on two things. One is taking care of the animals, right? Now, under that job of taking care of the animals, what are some of the things they have to do? They have to feed them, right? Yeah. Make sure that they have water. Because cows, let's say a cow. Cows drink and eat a lot of food every single day. Some cows will eat 125 pounds a day. That's heavier than some of you boys and girls. Cows will also drink almost 42 gallons a day. That's bigger than your average bathtub. Cows will drink and eat a lot of food. Now, what are some other things that farmers do? They feed and water, make sure that everything is taken care of. But what happens if an animal gets sick? Now, let's say the cow has a hurt leg, or maybe the rabbit is something wrong. What happens? Well, the farmer has to take care of it. And sometimes, if it's really bad, he has to call in what we call a vet. Now, what is a vet exactly? What do you think a vet is? Yeah, it's a doctor for animals. So, you go to see the doctor. I go to see a doctor. What about your pet dog, or maybe the rabbit, or even a cow? They should go see the doctor. And that's called a vet. So the vet is exactly what you say, an animal doctor. Now, when we talk about our daily check or our annual checkups, the doctor will come in and give us an examination. They'll go through and make sure everything is okay, make sure you're healthy and everything is good. They do the same thing with animals too. They go through and make sure everything is healthy and make sure everything is good with them. Now, that might be doing things like injections with shots, which I don't like, so I'll try to avoid those. But also things like maybe it's giving you medicine, or maybe it's hearing your heartbeat, because what is this right here? Doctors put it on their ears, and then they put it typically either on the back or right here, because what's right here? That's your heart, exactly. So they want to hear and make sure your heart is beating correctly. Now, let's take a rabbit. We're going to see a rabbit very soon. What's so important about hearing our heartbeat? If it's beating really fast, that's not good. But if it's also beating really slow, that's not good either. But when we hear a heartbeat of a rabbit, it might be different from us. So we have our pet rabbit up here, up on the board. Now, our pet rabbit here, on average, our heart beats roughly, let's say, 70 beats per minute, right? A rabbit, which is a lot smaller, their heart will beat about 225 beats per minute. That's a lot faster. So when we go, let's say we're running, and we feel our heartbeat, because you can also feel it up here, or maybe you can feel it here. Some people can feel it right here up on their forehead, but I typically feel it here over here. And let's say we do this for every beat we feel. When sitting here, maybe we're beating like here, but if we run really fast, it goes like this, right? It beats a lot faster. That's because it's pumping all the oxygen in our blood to other parts of our body a lot faster. Now, the rabbit, who's smaller, has to work a lot faster, because once it reaches there, it has to get it there again. And smaller animals, typically, its heart beats a lot faster. So things like a mouse, their heart beats so much faster than, say, us, or even an elephant. Imagine what an elephant heartbeat is. It's probably very slow. It still beats, but it's slower than humans. So today we're going to examine a rabbit. So when we go to the doctor typically just does an overall examination. Today we're going to do an examination of a rabbit. So with us today we have Dr. Ruth. She will be conducting the examination on our little rabbit here. Now, what is our rabbit's name?
Dorothy.
Dorothy. So Dorothy here is going to be examined. Make sure she is doing well and is staying healthy. Now, what are some of the different body parts that we have here on the rabbit? We have things like the spine here, which if you feel around your back, you can feel that too. Now, what are some of the things, what are these right here? We have them too, they're right here. Those are our ears, that's great. Now, what about on the face here? What are these little things? These are her whiskers. Now, she also has her eyes, like we have our eyes, and her little nose here. Now, something about her nose is, do you know how rabbits are always moving their nose? That's called nose blinking. What they're doing is they're smelling. They're smelling all around to make sure that it's safe and there's no predators. So when you see the little nose constantly moving on Dorothy here, that's her smelling around, making sure everything's okay around here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the eyes, make sure that there's nothing wrong with them. Make sure that there's no anything like mucus or anything in there and remains clear. Looks good to me. Now we're gonna look at the nose, see if there's anything wrong with the nose. Doesn't look anything bad to me, so looks healthy. Now, one thing we're gonna do is we're also going to look at the teeth. So with the teeth is, remember how we mentioned that that rabbits are a rodent? So something about rodents are, their teeth are constantly growing. So the teeth sometimes need to be cut down or making sure that they're responsibly sized so the rabbit can maintain healthy. If it doesn't, if it has really long teeth or it's not healthy, it's called malocclusion. Now malocclusion is when it has extra long teeth. But to us, Dorothy looks pretty well today. So we're also going to check the ears to make sure that there's nothing inside or that they're okay and healthy. Looks good, there's nothing wrong, color is all good. Now we're also going to, lastly, remember how we mentioned our heartbeats. So rabbits typically have a heartbeat of 225 beats per minute, while humans have a heartbeat of 70 beats per minute.
So, and this would be her front. So of course this is where her heart's at. And it is really beating. So one day when you get to visit the farm, you'll get to do the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah, so if you come visit the farm once we open, you can come and hear Dorothy's heartbeat. We also have a few other rabbits that you can listen to. So, thank you, Dorothy, and thank you, Dr. Ruth, for visiting us.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure to come to Fox Chase Farm.
So, thank you guys all for visiting Fox Chase Farm. I hope you come back soon. Thank you very much. Hope you learned a lot, and take care.
I guess it's hard to see how long she is. You can't really see her eyes though.